Now we want to take a look at the armrest in the combine. We've got several buttons and switches on the armrest, so we're going to go through each one of those, and there'll be some associated screenshots with that. Right here we've got our throttle. The turtle is slow, we've got a mid-range, and we've got a high speed. You press the middle one, it goes to about 1700 RPM, and then this is wide open throttle here. The next button is the road transport button. This button, when I press this button, and I will get a warning on the screen telling me that my road transport is activated. What this button does is it basically locks out the header from raising and lowering, and it locks out the unloading auger from swinging in or out. This is just a safety thing, so if you go down the road, you won't accidentally drop your head onto the road, and you won't accidentally swing your unloading auger out into the telephone poles as you pass by. Now, to deactivate that switch, you have to press and hold. So you press and hold it about 5 seconds, and it'll deactivate, and it'll also give you a warning on the screen. Moving on, these buttons right here you've got a dial, you've got a check mark, and you've got a cancel. This will be an OK or an enter or an accept button. This is X is a cancel or an escape type button. These other two buttons you're probably not going to use unless you have an issue with the machine, and we may have you press them, but this one is referred to as the menu button, and this one is not used at all in the combine. Now, this dial goes in a clockwise fashion, and it will move items up on this screen. So if I turn it counterclockwise, it moves to the left. If I turn it clockwise, it moves to the right. And now if I want to accept something, I hit the check mark. If I want to cancel something or get out, I hit the X. These yellow switches you're probably familiar with. The first one is the separator engage. To engage the separator, I push down and forward, and that will engage my separator. This one is the header switch. I push down and forward to engage the header, and it's just telling me I need to speed up my engine, so I'm going to speed up my engine. Now, let's say that I slug the feeder house. So I want to go to low idle, and I want to shut my head off. Now, to reverse it, I'm going to push down and I'm going to hold backwards, and that will reverse my head. And as long as I hold in the reverse position, it will reverse my head. If I let off, it goes back to the neutral position. To re-engage my head, I push down and forward, and then I throttle my engine back up, and now I'm back to harvesting. Some other buttons on the screen here. This one is my Hydra pressure, and this button is only going to be used prior to calibration or to lock the header up for wheat. So before you can calibrate the head, which we'll cover in another section, I have to lower my Hydra pressure below 1,000. So if I had a platform on, I would press this button. It brings up on the screen the Hydra pressure. And then I want to go ahead and turn my dial in a negative or counterclockwise to lower my Hydra pressure below 1,000 so I can complete my calibration. Or if I want to lock it up for wheat, I can use the hydraulics to assist me in that. I press this button and I turn my dial in a clockwise direction, and then it will raise the hydraulic pressure, and once I get it up to about 27 or 2800 psi, the Hydra is going to head and come on up and be in locked rigid position so I can put my stops in. Next button is the header raise and lower speed adjust, and I press that button and it flashes up on the screen the current speed setting. If I turn my dial in a clockwise position, it will make the head go faster, and 100 is as fast as possible. If I turn it in a counterclockwise direction, I can slow it down if my head is going up and down too fast. Now, that's going to be manually raising the head when I use my thumb on the hydro handle. If I press this button twice, that's my header height sensitivity for when I'm using the automatic header control. If I turn it down, my head's going to become less sensitive. If I turn it clockwise, it's going to become more sensitive. And again, like I said, counterclockwise would be a less sensitive condition. The next one is my Concave Adjust. So if I want to close or open my concave, press my concave button, it comes up on the screen. Right now it's set at 32. If I turn my dial in a clockwise position, the little blue is my desired setting. The black is where the concave is currently set. So the concave is set on 41. So if I want to close my concave, press my concave button, turn it in a counterclockwise direction. I'm going to set it to 19, which is my desired, and then the combine will automatically go ahead and set it to 19, and it's lowering the number now. If I want to remove that from the screen and just allow the combine to do it in the background, I hit the check mark over here by the dial, and it will remove it from the screen, but it will continue to operate and adjust to my desired setting until it gets there. My cylinder speed, right now it's set at 490. Same thing, if I set that, if I turn it in a clockwise position, it will speed up and the combine will automatically adjust. Again, the blue number is my desired heading and this is my actual. If I turn it in a counterclockwise direction, the blue setting is my desired, and now the combine will attempt to adjust the rotor speed down until it gets to my desired setting. Again, if I want this to go in the background so I don't have to watch it do that, I hit the check mark. The combine will continue to adjust the cylinder speed, but I can now look at all my functions rather than watching that other screen. My fan speed is right here. Press my fan speed button, again, same thing. If I turn it in a clockwise direction, the blue represents my desired setting, the black is my actual. If I turn it in a counterclockwise direction, that's my desired setting. This is my actual, and the combine is adjusting my fan speed down. If I want to get rid of that off of the screen and let it adjust in the background, I simply hit my check mark again, and it will continue to adjust my speed until it reaches my desired setting. These two buttons are my cleaning shoe. The one with the slashes on the top is my chaffer. The one with my slashes on the bottom is my sieve. So if I press my chaffer button, there's my chaffer, and again the blue numbers come up representing my desired, and then the black is the actual. So I turn it in a counterclockwise, it will go down. Clockwise goes up. Again, the black is my actual, the blue is my desired. Once it reaches that, I can hit the check mark to get rid of this, or after it reaches the desired setting, it'll wait about 5 seconds and go off. The sieve is right here. Same thing with it, much like the chaffer. I crank it up where I want it. The combine will adjust it. I turn it counterclockwise, and the combine will adjust it to my desired heading, or desired setting. That pretty much covers the armrest. Here we're taking a look at the Hydra handle on the armrest, and the Hydra handle has several functions right at your thumb's tip there. Starting on top, we have the quick stop button, and what this allows you to do is if you're harvesting along and you have your header running and you're unloading on the go, if you see a rock or an obstacle or something, you can reach up, if you're going forward, and you can hit this button and pull back on your hydrostat, and what that will do is that will quickly shut down the head, quickly shut down the unloading auger, whether it's swinging in or out or if it's running, and it will also stop the combine as you did that, and that will shut down the unloading auger, so if you're unloading on the go it won't spill over onto the ground, and it will shut your header off. However, your separator will continue to run. The other buttons that we have are the 1, 2, 3, and this is our header sensitivity, or our header sensing and our header resume. Number 1, if you press number 1, the head will come up to a resume position, which that's normally where you would turn on the end. Number 2 and number 3, those two buttons are for your header sensing and for your ground, following the ground. Number 2 and number 3 can be set to different settings, and you do that with the front dial over on the armrest. So if you hit number 1, the head will come to a given position. You go over to the dial on the armrest, turn it clockwise or counterclockwise to set the setting. Same way with number 2. If you hit number 2, the head will go down to the ground, and then you adjust either on a Hydra flex, you turn it clockwise or counterclockwise to set your pressure. If it's a corn head, you turn it up clockwise for up and counterclockwise for down to change your picking height. Number 3 is the same as number 2. It's just a different setting, so you can have numbers 2 set maybe for normal crop conditions, and number 3 you can set for maybe down crop or another setting that you would prefer. This button, up and down on a platform, is your reel up and down. On a corn head, that's going to be your header speed. So if you want to speed the header up or raise the reel, you would press up. If you want to lower the reel or slow the corn head down, you would hit the down button. On a corn head, the side to side on this button, the side to side on a corn head, you have corn head deck plate close and corn head deck plate open. On a platform, this is your reel fore and aft, so reel forward, reel backwards. On the center button, you have raise the head and lower the head, and there's also there's two in here. You have fast raise, which was all the way on, and then you have slow raise, which is just one click. And if you go to the second click, that's fast raise. Same thing on down, you have slow lower, which is one click, and then the second click or the second detent is down and fast down. The contour master is your left and right, so this would be left down, this would be right down. The unloading auger is right here. Center is the neutral position. You have one position. The first detent is manually extend the auger. If I go all the way to the second detent, that automatically swings the unloading auger all the way out. If I want to swing it in manually, I go to the first detent and it will swing the auger in until I release it. If I want to swing it all the way in, I go to all the way to the detent and it will swing the unloading auger all the way in. So I'm going to swing my unloading auger out and get ready to unload the machine, whether I'm unloading on the go or into a stationary truck. All I have to do to turn the unloading auger on is press and hold the unloading auger engage button. And this will also give a warning on the screen telling you that it's engaged. If I want to shut it off, I press the button once and it will turn it off and the light goes out, and that's the functions of the hydro handle.